Good morning and welcome. I'm Richard Zellin, the Midwest Director for the American Friends of Magen David Adom. I'm going to offer some brief remarks, and then I'm going to turn it over to David and Bob. I am truly honored to be here today. All ambulance dedications that I participate in are special and meaningful, and this one is no different. To begin, I'd like to extend my special thanks and appreciation to Iris and David Jacobson and Wendy and Bob Kopka, and for all you supporters, for spearheading this extraordinary campaign to generously sponsor this life support ambulance. Your tremendous support is truly valued and much appreciated. It will equip MDA with the resources it urgently needs to treat and save lives, especially at this critical time. Indeed, this vehicle is the workhorse of MDA's fleet. It responds to routine calls, but at the same time, those injured by the continued rocket attacks and terrorist attacks. MDA's devoted and impressive teams, also the ones who work on this ambulance, they also bring new lives into the world. Indeed, amazingly, an MDA EMT helped deliver a baby in Ashkelon while red alert sirens were going off and blaring as hundreds of rockets were being launched from Gaza. Now, this was several years ago. I'm sure the same thing is true now as well. For those of you who may not be familiar, MDA is a global leader and innovator in emergency medicine. Its EMS fleet of about 1,500 plus ambulances, more than 650 metacycles, and dozens of other emergency vehicles stand ready every day to respond to medical emergencies, small and large, in Israel. They are available to all, now roughly 10 million Israelis, no matter where one lives or what background one comes from. They're there for everyone. And the other thing that's extraordinary is that MDA's professional team, which represents about 3,000 plus staff, plus 30,000 volunteers, are reflective of the entire panoply of Israel's society. Now, besides the EMS service, which most people know about, MDA is also responsible for and guardian of Israel's blood supply. It collects, tests, processes, and distributes blood 100% to Israel's citizens and 100% to the IDF. MDA's new, one-in-a-kind in the world underground and shielded facility. If you happen to go to Israel, it's really worth visiting. I know that Rabbi Engel has visited. Thanks for joining us this morning. The new center was built to ensure that Israel's blood supply is safe and secure. Now, what's extraordinary is that thankfully, this new blood center, this underground facility, protected and shielded from rocket and chemical and cyber warfare attack, became fully operational on October 8th. Think about that. Fully operational on October 8th. MDA is also a world leader in disaster relief. MDA paramedics travel around the world to provide their expertise and professional assistance in the aftermath of typically natural disasters. Unfortunately, this past weekend, they are called upon to go to the Netherlands to help rescue and provide medical assistance to the Israeli soccer fans who went to the game in Amsterdam. Now, on October 7th, MDA's heroic first responders dropped everything and raced to ambulances like this one, motorcycles, helicopters, to save as many lives as possible. Thanks to American donors like you, MDA had the equipment, supplies, and life-saving vehicles to respond on that fateful and dark day. Since then, MDA teams have been on the highest level of alert while also being available to respond to daily typical medical emergencies. Now, with Israel facing a multi-front war, MDA must be fully prepared for whatever challenges lie ahead, and that's where you guys come in. By providing this ambulance, you give them the ability to be prepared for that. In these perilous times, one of the highest priorities is the sponsorship of additional emergency vehicles. So by funding this life support ambulance, you are doing a huge mitzvah for the people of Israel. As many of you know, in the Talmud, there's a famous saying that if you save one life, it's like saving the entire world. And that's what you have done. Again, thank you for joining me this morning, and many thanks for your kind and thoughtful, generous support. Your generosity is very much appreciated. By making this gift, you are partners in treating and saving lives in Israel. And as a small, very small token of our profound thanks and appreciation, I am delighted to share two beautiful plaques, one for Wendy and Bob, and one for Iris and David. And the plaques are similar to the inscription on the ambulance. It says, "Presented to the people of Israel by Concerned American Friends of Israel, Chicago, Illinois, 2023. So there you go. Thanks so much. And so I'm going to turn it over at this point to either Bob or David to share some remarks as well.
Thank you, Richard. Thank you. What an honor. What an honor. And beautiful, beautiful words. I want to say that I think it's very appropriate that we're dedicating this on Veterans Day, that we think a lot about what it takes to be in a safe and in a free society. Iris and David are the parents of an IDF soldier, and our hearts and our thoughts are with soldiers everywhere. So people who had served and people who are serving now in the IDF. And I want to thank David, because it was on October 8th that David Jacobson called me and said, we got to do something, we got to do something. And that was the impetus. I'll tell you that I'm very, very pleased also that it were over 300 people that donated for this ambulance. And in particular, I want to mention my dear friend Karen Turner and her son Nate on the East Coast, who just put the word out for all of their communities. And I also want to mention that on October 8th, October 9th, in October and November, spreading the word among my Jewish friends, but also importantly among my non-Jewish friends. So many of my business colleagues, non-Jewish, they were honored by the opportunity to support Israel in some small way. So I think that it's very, very important that we realize that we have many, many allies, especially here in the United States. So I want to just thank you, Richard, for all of your help. I want to thank everybody who participated in this mitzvah. and especially my good friend David Jacobson. Thank you.
So first and foremost, I also want to say thank you, as Rabbi Engel always begins every speech. He thanks everyone who's participating, from the maintenance to the secretaries to the Gabayim, the Torah readers, Shachrit readers. So, and Yehuda, there's a word for it that I always forget, but that's what it is. It's not a crazy thing that in December of 2024 in the Chicago Jewish Funerals calendar, and that's not a shameless plug, it is the Magen David Adom month, so this vehicle will get to Israel in December. In last week's Torah portion and this week's Torah portion, Lech Lakan Vayera, there are two concepts that I really liked. And the one from this week is when God calls to Abraham, and Abraham just says, Hineni, I'm present. I call Bob, first words is, yeah, let's do it. And I just want to say thank you, because what a wonderful partnership. And to the 302 people that participated. And then in last week, Lech Lecha is to go forward. And as I look at this ambulance, I think this is an ambulance of peace. Not only will it be helping Jews, but Christians, Muslims, trying to really make the world a better place. So this ambulance is not just a car to, even though it does the mundane, but it really does a great deal of sacred work. And I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge Hatzalah's presence here. And I know everybody's important, but Hatzalah, the work that you do in Chicago is equally as important. And I just want to say thank you, and thank you to my family and to those of you who are here. We have cookies. We have cookies. You can take the tour. You can take a ride if you want. I'm sorry I forgot one thing. If we could all do the Shehecheyanu, I think it would be appropriate. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam shehecheyanu v'kimanu v'higianu lazman hazeh.
שאני רוצה אותה לא אומרת לי כלום בגינה תשב עם הטבע להתערבב היא והשושנים שתי מילים אולי הגדר מאחוריי אין לי אומץ מתאים כל השבוע